Tonight on CTV News, the Rangiora High School drama. Why was the board sacked? We've got the details. High-stakes council meeting over rate rises and MPs in line for a very nice pay rise.
Broadcasting across Canterbury from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening. Rangiora High School and its former Board of Trustees are keeping quiet about the board sacking today. It's thought the decision comes from a lack of disclosure about sale money of school land sold to a developer 8 years ago. Emma Cropper reports.
It was this letter that was sent to parents and caregivers yesterday, advising them of the changes at Rangiora High School. Effective from today, the Board of Trustees has been stood down and Commissioner Bev Moore is acting as its replacement. David Turnbull, chairperson of the sacked Board of Trustees, says they've been working with the Ministry of Education to address matters of employment, communication and finance. Turnbull says in a statement, the issues do not relate to the welfare of the students. They relate to policy and governance issues. They do not involve any financial impropriety. However, he says there are issues relating to the management of a large investment from the sale of farmland back in 2007. The 46-hectare land was rezoned to be residential by the Waimakariri District Council, making it attractive to property developers. The school then sold the farm under the agreement. The funds raised from its sale were for the school to buy more land for agricultural purposes. It's understood these are matters relating to the previous Board of Trustees, and with such a large number of new trustees appointed at last year's elections, the Ministry felt additional support was appropriate. Commissioner Moore will have full responsibility for school governance and will work with the school's management team, staff and community to support the school to return to self-governance as soon as possible. Commissioner Moore says in a statement, "My appointment as Commissioner reflects the need to strengthen aspects of the school's governance function. I will be focused on gaining a full understanding of all aspects of the school, including its strengths and weaknesses, and developing an action plan to resolve any concerns or issues." Principal Peggy Burrows will remain responsible for the day-to-day management of the school. The Ministry will continue to support the school and monitor its progress, and the Commissioner's role will be reviewed annually.
Well, it's official. The Christchurch City Council needs to squeeze more cash from asset sales to help pay its debt. They've just released a statement. I'll read you parts of that shortly, but first, here's Emma Cropper.
If given the green light by the public, $750 million worth of council assets will be up for sale. The grim financial position of the Christchurch City Council has forced them to boost the amount of capital they release from its commercial arm Christchurch City Holdings. 6 People's Choice councillors were hoping to cap that at $550 million, but were outvoted at today's council meeting. Up for sale was part of Christchurch Airport, Littleton Port and Orion. The sale would help fill the council's $1.2 billion funding shortfall. The council was now seeking expert advice on how best to release the capital and is reviewing all aspects of the organisation's capital program. Councillor Ralph Manji, the council's finance spokesperson, says the council has been advised by auditors that it needed to approve the release of the $750 million in capital as part of its financial strategy, or else it would be out of business.
And in a statement just released a short time ago, or just to clarify the details, really, Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell says the council's proposed financial strategy will see rates rise by 8.75% this year, 8.5% in the 2 following years, 7.5% in 2018 and 19. And the new details of that story basically are that instead of $551 million set to be released from its assets, on top of that will be an additional $200 million. And rate rises are also likely in Timaru, with the council there considering a 4.1% increase. The council is currently working through its long-term plan. Councillors went to the table this morning looking at a 2.8% increase, but reduced road funding and asset depreciation figures push that figure up. The council is expecting a deficit of up to $1.2 million this financial year, and the public will get to have their say for the district plan next month. Well, fee and student increases are helping to improve Canterbury University's post-earthquake finances, but it might be years to come before it's back in the black.
All things considered, the University of Canterbury's finances are to be expected. Its business earnings in 2014 were $3.3 million in the red, and this was similar to its results the previous year. The university suffered hard in the earthquakes and doesn't expect to be in surplus until at least 2019. On the plus side, it did receive more than $433 million in insurance payouts and is expecting $260 million from the government to develop the new Rutherford Science and Innovation Centre and College of Engineering. The university made $15 million more by increasing fees in 2014 and experienced an increase in first-year students. On top of this, the university also had the largest number of postgraduate students and the largest engineering intermediate class in its history. Despite its post-earthquake recovery, the university is still ranked the top 3% of universities in the world, according to the QS World Rankings.
More than 170 farms in South Canterbury are looking for water elsewhere following last night's shutdown of their local dam.
Farms relying on water from the Opuha Dam have been cut off from last night. The dam is now down to less than 10% of its capacity. It normally supplies 170 properties in the region. The water level has been falling over the past several weeks, with the supply to farms restricted throughout the dry spell that's hit Canterbury. 2 weeks ago, the area was officially declared a drought of a medium scale, allowing farmers to access additional government support extending to Otago, Canterbury and up to the Marlborough district. The ministry were monitoring conditions closely over the past several weeks. In January, Primary Industries Minister Nathan Guy visited South Canterbury farmers who voiced their concerns over the parched conditions. Plans are in place to build a man-made lake in South Canterbury to help ease dry conditions in the future. Built on farmlands in the Rangitata River, the $120 million project will be able to hold 30 million cubic metres of water. That's just under half of the volume of Lake Opuha. The project will be given the green light depending on a raft of issues including bank backing.
And still to come here on CTV News, the Crusaders train up to beat the Chiefs.
Blackwell's has a proud history presenting leading vehicle brands, extensive backup and service for a total one-stop driving experience. Holden, Mazda and HSV new and used vehicle sales, servicing, parts, paint and panel, Isuzu truck sales and service, all together in one convenient location. More selection, more value, more quality and more reasons to make Blackwell's your number one choice. Visit Blackwell's today, corner Waterloo Racecourse Road, Sockburn or online at blackwells.co.nz.
Just 7 minutes north of Christchurch, Silverstream is a unique residential community carefully planned and developed within a rich natural environment. A family home or terraced villas, Silverstream offers a wide range of living options for every stage of life. The show homes are open. You can select your section, design your home and choose your builder. Purchase the house and land package or the terraced villa for streamside living. Silverstream, a community for everyone. It's closer than you think.
We asked ourselves, what statement sums up our company culture and sets us apart from others? Serving one another. It means we have respect for our customers, our workmates, our suppliers, and the communities in which we live and work. These are the things that matter to us. Serving one another is the foundation of our business. HEB Construction, the total infrastructure package.
Hi, I'm Mark and welcome to Stay Well Pharmacy. At Stay Well Pharmacy, we do more than just dispense prescriptions. If you're looking for a new perspective on your health options from a qualified health professional, then come in and see us. We have 2 private consultation rooms where you can discuss your health needs with our team in confidence. We combine the best of a health food shop and a pharmacy to give you a holistic approach. For a new direction in your future health, call us for an appointment. Stay Well Pharmacy. Live well, stay well.
Welcome back to CTV News. Patients are clogging up the emergency department at Christchurch Hospital when they should be seeing a GP instead. That's just one of the findings made in the latest Canterbury District Health Board report. Here's Jared McCulloch.
It's been a tough few years around healthcare in Canterbury, but the latest national targets suggest otherwise in a number of areas. The Canterbury District Health Board has released its second quarter report for the year, showing continued improvement from the previous year despite the challenges post-earthquake. And the board's chief executive is reasonably happy with the recent outcome.
Given the context that we're still in a post-earthquake recovery with really big changes happening in our community, big increases in population, the results are actually quite stunning.
Canterbury's health system works together with both primary and secondary care, and MET says a focus on this has helped improve government targets.
So last year we managed about 30,000 people in a community setting, largely supported by general practice, that anywhere else in New Zealand they would have either been in the emergency department and or admitted into hospital. So it's been really important for general practice to stay really focused on that.
The quarterly report also shows patients seeking support for smoking has doubled from last year to nearly 87%. Double the amount went through the emergency department of Canterburyans aged between 25 to 29, and nearly a 30% increase for 20 to 24-year-olds. But MET says it comes down to new workers understanding the right place to go for medical care.
Many people there have come into Canterbury and may not be connected with general practice, so their first port of call might be the emergency department or the GP after hours services. So what we're wanting to do is really encourage people to to connect with general practice, get them self-registered, and so that we can again get them connected into the processes and the support frameworks that we have in the Canterbury health system.
However, the elderly have been keeping away, with the emergency ward seeing fewer incidents with the older generation.
Since February 2012, we've had 1,085 people fewer over 75 years presenting to the emergency department with a fall, and there have been 385 less fractured neck or femur operations that have had to be done as a result of that. And that's really, really stunning.
And he says the plan for the future will need to change to match the increasing population.
Some of the big challenges we've got in Canterbury is particularly around the mental health challenges and the significant uplifts on people getting in contact with mental health services and requiring support has been huge, and that's the sort of thing we're likely to see playing out over the next 8 to 10 years.
Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Imagine being paid $200 extra a week, a salary top-up of $10,000 a year. How will that change your life? Well, that's what local MPs could be receiving following a review by the Remuneration Authority. By comparison, the minimum wage is set to rise by 50 cents an hour. Here's Marcus Gibbs.
17-year-old Brianna was looking forward to April when CTV News spoke to her yesterday. That's when her pay packet is due to increase by about $20 a week. Brianna is one of 300,000 workers on the minimum wage and will soon be earning $14.75 an hour or $590 a week. That's a pay rise of 50 cents an hour. However, MPs have been guaranteed a pay rise of up to $10,000 this year, bringing their annual salary to around $158,000.
Not too good, doesn't sound right.
Shocking, eh?
Sounds a bit extreme.
Doesn't seem too justified with a 50-cent pay rise compared to a 10k pay rise a year.
I reckon younger people deserve a bit more than that, eh?
Well, everyone deserves a pay rise, because it has been pretty low. MPs do a good job too. They've got to decide things for us that we can't, so it's all swings and roundabouts really.
Well, there's one answer, isn't there? Everyone who wants more money should become an MP. I mean, it's insanity.
Yeah, it is quite a hefty increase, but I guess they got educated and got themselves a decent job, got a good experience, and I guess minimum wage is made for level entry jobs, it's not something to be living off.
Since 2007, MPs' wages have increased by nearly $22,000. Their perks have also increased. Last year, their accommodation allowance went up 16.6% to $28,000. The Prime Minister recommended earlier in the year that MPs don't receive a pay rise. Many of the minor parties support this move.
I find it hard for them to justify it in this climate, that kind of increase.
I think some MPs work really hard, and possibly they're worth that, but I think there's an awful lot that don't do very much at all.
And it's really hard to see, MPs getting raises in their salaries when the ordinary person is
struggling to get by day to day.
About 2/3 of the public service, that's around 40,000 staff, will negotiate wage increases this year. However, Finance Minister Bill English has previously hinted there won't be much in the way of pay rises.
People deserve a lot more than what they're getting, and MPs are already well paid. I don't think they should be getting an increase if other people aren't.
But what would the critics spend their money on if every New Zealander was given a $10,000 salary boost?
I don't know what I'd do. Probably a bit of partying.
A holiday or a boat? A boat. Probably save it, bro. I've got a few kids to look after, eh?
I think, well, if I had $10,000, I'd definitely help me out with my uni.
Tough decisions. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
The Crusaders are hoping to make it a second win for the season when they play the Chiefs this weekend. Jared McCulloch went along to training to see how they're doing.
The Crusaders will be packing their bags and heading to the North Island this weekend to take on the Chiefs. The side has been named for this weekend's Super Rugby clash, with Colin Slade jumping into the number 10 jersey, replacing Dan Carter, who is still recovering from a leg injury 2 weeks ago. But their coach says he's confident with the change.
That was a really easy decision with Dan not being available this week. So he performed really well last week, so he's confident. He's been running the ship really well this week.
It's the third round of the Super Rugby Championship, with the Crusaders taking a bye the following week. It'll give Carter some extra time to recover with a minor tear in his lower quad.
He's probably about a week away. As you can see, he's made really good progress through his injury, so we're really pleased with that. But he's just not ready to go yet.
And there's some excitement in the camp also, with Andy Ellis back in action, but will start on the bench, meaning Mitchell Drummond will start at number 9, a role he has been taking up over the last few games. But the coach says Ellis is preparing himself.
He's pretty excited, right? He's been texting me from Japan about a month ago. Couldn't wait to get back, and I think we did the right thing by just giving him a week to transition back in, and he's pretty excited to be back there. He brings a lot of energy and a lot of life and a lot of excitement back to the team, so he's pretty energised.
There will also be a change in the starting 15, with Lolala taking up the number 3 spot, following prop Owen Frank's suspension last weekend for hitting Highlanders' Josh Honeck with his forearm. And Tom Taylor will be putting on the number 15 jersey, giving Israel Dagg's quad strain more time to come right. But Blackadder says they're ready for the weekend's game.
I think every game, and certainly in this New Zealand conference, are big games. Doesn't matter who they are in this New Zealand conference, they're always pretty brutal, and they're always great challenges. So this certainly brings the best out of everyone.
And although the Crusaders won last weekend and plan to do the same on Saturday, Blackadder is also banking on another sports team, with New Zealand taking on the Aussies in the Cricket World Cup at Eden Park.
The Black Caps, I've enjoyed just hearing Australia try and, I suppose, just every opportunity they can to try and get into the guys' heads around a little bit of psychology. I think it's a good sign that they're concerned about us, so I hope New Zealand wallops them.
But the Super Rugby is the focus, with the Crusaders flying out tomorrow, heading straight for Hamilton to take on the Chiefs at Waikato Stadium on Saturday night. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Still to come, Waz's back with the business roundup of the week and your region's weather.
At Primary ITO, we want to help you lead your business into the future with confidence. The Diploma in Agribusiness Management allows you to learn the latest techniques, and you can apply your newly developed skills from the moment you start. With the option of workshops and online self-directed learning, training fits around your lifestyle. Key learning areas include human resource management, financial planning, budgeting and more. So contact us today to discuss your training needs.
The legend continues. Neil Diamond, live in concert. Labour Weekend. Saturday, October 24, Dunedin, Forsyth Bar Stadium. A night of vintage Neil Diamond with all your favourite hits. Tickets on sale now at ticketdirect.co.nz. Don't miss Neil Diamond. Tour details at daintygroup.com.
Located at the foot of the Port Hills, Berrymead Golf offers a spectacular location for any occasion. Make a dream wedding a reality with private use of our green function room, outdoor garden courtyard, large marquee and stunning gazebo. Or for your next conference, enjoy the relaxed atmosphere of Berrymead Golf, offering a private, spacious conference room with special deals to make any break a true break. All with customised catering from the Wow Cafe. Berrymead Golf, 50 Berrymead Park Drive, right next to the Berrymead Heritage Park.
Don't get caught out. With the Super Mini Booster, the power is in your hands. As the smallest power pack in its class, the Super Mini Booster will get you back on track in no time. Trusted by leading professionals, the Super Mini Booster has all the power you need. Super Mini Booster, the power is in your hands.
Welcome back to CTV News. Now here's Warren Head with this week's Business Roundup.
I'm Warren Head for headliner.co.nz. Another week and another torrent of results out of the listed companies on the stock market, and the picture in the province in respect to the drought worse because the lake at Opua is right down now, and things are moving to the next phase in this respect. The context here is important in terms of milk production as well, and today Fonterra came out and they said that they couldn't go any further than what they previously announced in terms of their cash payout of $4.95 to $5.05 for the current milk season, and that looks like it's the best they can do for this particular phase of the year. Dairy commodity prices have gone up in recent auctions, and that should have encouraged some increase in the farm gate milk price, but it didn't happen today. The increase hasn't been sufficient to lift it at this time. We are, of course, seeing the milk powder price going up quite sharply. It's up about 45% since Christmas, and skimmed milk powder also up as well, about 13%. But this continued uncertainty in the milk production areas due to the climatic conditions, the droughts now in Canterbury, Marlborough and Central Otago and North Otago biting there. In the context of the dairy sector and the rural sector, we've also seen a result out from PGG Wrightson, which bases its national organisation here in Christchurch. They had the best start to a trading year, the best start in 7 years, with gains right across the board in retail, livestock, seed and grain. And of course, if there's a drought, you're more likely to see some increase in seed and grain sales and things like that, you know, in terms of where the farmers go for support. Prices are higher across the cattle and sheep market, so they got a lot more commission coming through there as well. And the big increase coming through too was of interest to farmers in the foraging sector. You know, fodder, beef and brassica and herbs have all played a big part in this improvement by PGG Wrightson, so good stuff there. And continuing on from agriculture to horticulture, just a day back, probably really early this morning, we saw Scales Corporation out, Scales based here in Christchurch, and it exceeded its forecast that it made when it went onto the stock exchange last year. It had a good result in terms of bottom line, above the line, and net profit all up. And their chairman, John Mason, said it was a very good result coming through there. And it's really showing now that Mr. Apple is starting to take off as an Apple brand, looking to increase that brand's penetration of world markets. And within about 4 years, they say there's going to be about another 450,000 cartons of Mr. Apple shares, apples out there, not shares, apples out there to sell as their premium orchard brand comes through into the world market. So that's an interesting company to watch. One I like watching is Air New Zealand, and I'll just close on the airline. Lovely to see the national airline always doing well. I like to see the fares discounts coming through too, and they're promising more of that as the fuel efficient aircraft continue to arrive month after month, and the fuel price is still very low in setting the price of jet fuel in particular, which they buy on the Singapore market. So they had a very good result. The normalised earnings up about 20%. Shares went really quite sky high after the result came out, and obviously 2015 is shaping up very, very well for the national airline. They will be launching new services, probably one to Buenos Aires in Argentina before Christmas, and on the horizon too, another city in North America. No names yet, but something to await. I'm Warren Head for headliner.co.nz.
Thank you, Warren. Good to see you. We're now time for the region's weather.
A A cool day for most parts of Canterbury. First in Timaru, 21. Temuka and Geraldine hit the region's high of 23. Methven hit 21. Ashburton and Rakaia hitting just 20 degrees. Darfield reached a high of 21 degrees, Leeston and Rolleston 20 for you today. Lincoln and Christchurch a cloudy day for you with a high of 20. Over in Akanoa they reached 21 degrees. Heading north, Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley, a mild day for you with a high of 21. Further north, Culverden and Hannah Springs 23 degrees, Cheviot 23 as well. And at the top in Kaikoura, they had a high of 20 degrees. But what about tomorrow? A fine Friday for Timaru with the usual northeasterly breezes and mild temperatures. 11 degrees overnight, reaching a high of 24 degrees throughout your day. In Ashburton, expected to be fine and sunny with the usual northeasterlies. 11 degrees overnight, a nice high of 25 degrees throughout your day. Christchurch, fine and mild with plenty of sunshine and just a little high cloud. Expect northeasterly breezes as well as a high of 24 degrees and 11 degrees overnight. A fine Friday for Kaikoura as well with the usual northeasterly breezes and mild temperatures. 11 degrees overnight, 24 throughout your day. And in other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine fine with a high of 27. Methven and Rakaia expect a low of 9 and a high of 24 degrees. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston find sunny weather all day with a high of 23 and 24. Lincoln expect a high of 23. Over in Akanoa they should reach a high of 23 and a low of 9. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley expect a high of 24 degrees and fine weather for most parts of the day. Culverden, Hannah Springs and Cheviot expect the region's high of 28 degrees. And looking ahead for Canterbury, fine and warm on Saturday with sunny periods and high cloud and light northerly winds. Expect there may be a brief period of southwesterlies during the evening as well. Cooler on Sunday with sunny periods and high cloud as well as moderate northeasterlies. Warm on Monday with high cloud increasing and light northerly winds. Expected to be cooler with southwesterlies and a period of showers at night. Becoming fine and sunny on Tuesday with breezy northeasterlies and light winds on Wednesday, which will bring thick high cloud. And that's all for your region's weather. Have a great evening.
And that is CTV News for Thursday. You have a great evening as well.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.